and progesterone. At first, the estrogen was real low dose. It was zero point 0.5, I think, milligrams, and my progesterone was cyclic. So I would take it for 2 weeks and then off 2 weeks. And because of where my progesterone was spiking, because my estrogen was low, we had to adjust so I wasn't constantly bleeding. Hold on one second. So I we got that all took care of, and meanwhile I'm still bleeding, right? And she felt we did an internal ultrasound, and I have adenomyosis, which means it's kind of the opposite of endometriosis. It's where you don't completely shed your endometrium, and it just goes into the muscle of your uterus. So that muscle just keeps getting thicker and thicker. So she felt I needed an ablation or a hysterectomy. So we talked to a surgeon, and I scheduled an ablation, and I have not had a period since August of this year. So at this point, I'm 48, okay? Um, I've had my estrogen increased to 2 milligrams. I've had my progesterone increased to every day and to 200 milligrams. And it's been a lifesaver, but there was still one thing missing. And I had talked to her about it, and she said, she gave me some education and literature on what atrophy is, about all the changes that happen in your feminine, intimate areas during this, even if you're on things. You know, even when you are taking hormones and you use a hormone patch or an estroidal cream or testosterone cream. The one thing she hasn't tested though is my testosterone. So in my next appointment coming up soon, that is something I'm gonna have tested. Um, I'm kind of weary on testosterone because I do have, that middle belly weight gain, and I don't want to amplify that. So I'm a little leery on for my history on testosterone, but the one thing I want to also share is during this time, my mammograms, because I have breast cancer history in my family that's really high, I was doing mammograms. So I would get my I've been doing mammograms since I was 27, but then it changed to my mammogram. I'd have a mammogram, and then 6 months later, I would have an MRI because my breast tissue was so dense, and they were afraid that I would develop cancer and they would never catch it. Um, Through taking these hormones, I now have a clear mammogram. So, a lot of that myth about taking hormones and it causing breast cancer, that's not necessarily true. What's true though is if you have really dense breast tissue and you're not helping your body to clear that out, what's going to happen is you could end. That's why a lot of women at stage 4 is when they first discover that they have breast cancer, is because they can't see it. So and I've been able to actually stop doing the MRI part of it because my tissue has cleared up so good.